Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I am here with my co-caster TFH. How are we doing today, Todd?
Oh, we are doing superb. How are you, man?
I am excellent. I'm looking forward to a pretty high tier matchup, a gold v gold, a matchup that a lot of folks have weighed in on the connoisseur. Folks want to see what this matchup's gonna deliver. It is SEAL Team Bravo versus Dark Matter. What are your expectations for today's matchup, Todd?
Well, I'm not really too sure. Dark Matter have been a superb team. Unfortunately, have not been casted enough, I want to say. And so this is actually my first time casting the Dark Matter team of this true form here after the Kaleidos breakup and absorbance into Dark Matter. So I think we're going to see a lot of good talents on Dark Matter side. And SEAL Team Bravo have already established themselves within one season to be a high tier team. So I think this is just going to be a very hype matchup.
Taking a look at their most recent matches, they had a tough time against SMC Tactical. They did look good in that first round, if I'm not mistaken, on that series. But that was their most recent setback. They've otherwise won their 2 matches against Water and Sinister Pride, and those are 2 strong opponents. So SEAL Team Bravo, honestly, I think a perfect matchup. After a loss against SMC, they go up against a team that is very good. You know, they also won their first 2 matches against Ember and Blaze. They went up against Animal House, nearly beat them, and now here they are going up against Dark Matter. I think we're going to get ourselves a pretty even keel matchup, and so I'm very interested to see what sort of strategies, as always, what sort of strategies these teams are going to bring to the table, how they're going to work together, what sort of coordination they're going to bring, what sort of suppressive fire, what kind of utility, all of that to consider, right?
Yeah, and I think we can't really count on Dark Matter out here either. They, last year, under the name of Fireteam Alpha, beat G-Men. And I forget what the scoreline is, but beating G-Men is quite an accomplishment to be able to do. I know that you're a former G-Men NightFiree. G-Men are still a great team, but it kind of shows that, you know, this competitiveness of this whole league in general has really consolidated itself to where any team can really go for these points.
Yeah, and we gotta dive into the pick bans. If you are potentially new to the league, you haven't checked out what the VRML is, the way that it operates is we play 3 maps. Each team is allowed to ban a map, and the map pool consists of, I believe, what is it, Todd? 7 official maps from Downpour.
I'll get back to you on that one.
Do the math. And so what we have coming in here today for pick bans, I can give them to you in a second. Coming out of SEAL Team Bravo, we do have a tanker ban. That's a close quarters map on a pretty dark atmosphere. Usually requires night vision, so they plucked that off of the potential tree. And then we also have, coming in from Dark Matter, a downfall ban. That is a much more open long range map that requires snipers and a lot of coordination with smokes, and is honestly one of the more difficult maps in my opinion to play, but some folks find it to be pretty easy. And for our first map of the day, we are going to be headed over to Suburbia. Todd, what are your, or excuse me, Subway. Todd, what are your thoughts on
you
Subway?
Threw me a loop right there, good sir. Subway is quite an interesting map. I think it's very different than the rest of the map pool, which is typically, you know, mostly 2-dimensional or completely 2-dimensional, depending on which map you are on. But Subway brings a lot of covered verticality to it. You know, there's different levels of Subway. You got that top deck, you know, the street level, then you go down one to the main subway, then you got the lower platform. Speaking of which is our first objective of the day. But you have to strategize a little differently on this map because there's different tunnels that lead to different levels. It's kind of like a 4-dimensional maze if you think about it, or 3-dimensional maze if you think about it. And you kind of have to strategize around that and, you know, cover for flanks that way.
Yeah, it's a good way of describing it, Todd. I really like that. The covered verticality, absolutely. And that offers all sorts of different potential attack plans, as you said. So very interested to see what sort of, I don't know, initial offensive rounds we see from both of these squads. Again, if you are tuning in, the way a typical round or series works is that each team plays 3 maps in a series. We are on map 1 on Subway. That was picked by SEAL Team Bravo. They will be going on to the attacking side, while called Marsoc, while Dark Matter will be on Volk. They'll be defending the objective. The idea is to essentially get to the... where is the objective today, Todd? Why am I not seeing
it? It is downstairs. I believe I just said that.
Oh, the basement. I mean, there's downstairs.
Downstairs.
The objective is for the enemy team to get to a randomly placed objective that they know where it is, but it can be, there's multiple locations that can be placed, and get to this objective and punch in a 7-digit code that'll score them 2 points. Otherwise, they can kill the enemy team, and that'll net them 1. The defenders obviously want to prevent that from happening, and so their goal is to simply kill the attacking team. There are some other nuanced options in terms of how you can score points within there, but that's the core drive of each of these squads, and we're going to see exactly what SEAL Team Bravo is going to bring to the table today for their first Marsoc round as we dive in to round 1 of map 1.
I know you're watching SEAL Team Bravo. I'm watching Dark Matter, and they're doing a bit of a cheer.
I think
Gotta get that team hype going, you know?
I think they've been doing that. I've watched a few of their matches this season already, and I think that is... I could be mistaken, but a couple of teams have been doing the cheers now. It's good to have that team camaraderie. You need it. What we're seeing here at SEAL Team Bravo is a I don't know, I'd say an interesting 3-2 split. It looks like they have invested 3 in that very, very far underground, in Raz and Hondo pushing in from the north.
Yeah, both these teams have kind of absorbed a series of good players. Hondo came from water. He was doing a good job over there, but I guess he just felt that water just wasn't the gig for him, and so he has now joined the ranks of SEAL Team Bravo. Dark Matter have acquired a lot of talent from the Colettos, which are a very skilled team of very skilled players, which tragically just fell apart after having a bit of a rough season. But regardless, I think almost everyone on the Colettos has found themselves a good gig to to ride out season 10 with.
Absolutely agree with you there. Now on board Sickness with the shield. He's trying to lead his squad up through this basement entryway. Him, Diesel, and you see in the back there, Drunk Drummer. They are Drunk's basically watching for a flank. There's a lane there that can be accessed by defense. You can see High Voltage through the walls there. He's on that second floor. Easily could push the stairs. Sickness has a few things he has to accomplish if he makes this exit point. You can see a C4 placed on this wall. Someone around here that's defending is holding the detonator for that C4. I guess it'd be Zucchini Zong over here. And he has ways to defuse it. He can throw a frag grenade here and destroy it, which is what he's going to try and do. And he does.
That gives Zucchini a bit of leeway there.
Yep, it does, and that's now his job to just keep eyes on with his rifle. Esco also now peeking this angle as well. You can see the lines of sight dialed in, and Esco was holding this angle specifically so he could hit the back of the shield. So a nice combo from both of these guys. Meanwhile, High Voltage does find Hondo up on the north side.
I've said this so many times before. I really don't understand why on earth people choose to push shield on tunnel. I get it, the lanular activities there. Raz finds High Voltage on the north side, but the lanes are there, but they are just such ambush fuel.
Yeah,
that there is no point in doing it.
Really nice pickup there from Raz. Also then secures the revive on Hondo. So he actually opted to go for that kill, get aggressive all the way up here at Train is where he found that angle, and then dropped back for the res. Very bit of a risky play there, not to just go and secure the res and instead try and find that kill first, but pays off. SEAL Team Bravo able to bounce back from what was looking like a 4-3 advantage, or excuse me, 5-3 advantage for Dark Matter, and now we're tied 4-4.
Yeah, we still got Diesel locked on the south side of that basement. He looks like he's trying to get some utility out to cover his approach, but he is pinched. I am still surprised that he is attempting to come out of the basement.
Raz and... Sorry.
Ooh. What on... Zucchini had that lined up, but none of the shots landed. Some weird hitbox activity, but it looks like that the rotation will come out from Diesel this time around, while Drunk Drummer makes sure that no other rotation or, no counter flank happens from the likes of Dark Matter, but Zucchini's able to find Drunk Drummer anyways.
Diesel took some shots as well, kind of gave his position away. Zuki is going to be able to get this shield, so this is a very strong defensive position. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the basement, you have the push coming in from Hondo and Raz. Dr. Aqua finds Hondo. She's going to look for Raz as well. Raz able to find the refrag. Now he can push the swing from Mad Outdoors, the refrag from Esco on the backside, but we are now into a 2v1. It's been quickly cold here. The defense of Dark Matter picked away. Zucchini goes down, and suddenly a 1v1.
Yeah, and this is kind of how raw Onward can get. Mono a mono, Diesel versus Esco, and
uh-oh. Right when Todd was getting hyped up for the series, we seem to have lost him from the connection. Hopefully he'll be back, and if not, he's missing out on some good stuff. This is exactly... Oh, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, but he's back. And he's doing pretty well. To be on a team like SEAL Team Bravo...
I'm talking about you. We lost you.
Oh.
You left Discord.
Well, then. Well, I was talking about...
I know, you're getting all hyped up. It was right when we were getting into the 1v1.
Yeah, well, we got some time here. Diesel was on a couple teams throughout the league. Ever since I've been in the league as well before then, but just before I could even talk about the rest of his history, he's already getting into this conflict range here with Esco. Esco is watching this angle. He might be able to see Esco first, but no! The darkness of the tunnel camouflages Esco, but Diesel's able to identify that movement. SEAL Team Bravo will take the first point.
That is a huge comeback from SEAL Team Bravo. The entry in the north securing themselves a couple of key trades, and then the frag from Zucchini, he just got a little lax. Diesel found the cross and then able to secure a couple of more kills there at the end. Very nicely done from both of those guys, Raz and Diesel, finding those kills they needed. And that's a surprising round one. I was not expecting that outcome with the Dark Matter defensive setup.
Yeah, Esco's position toward the end there was very interesting. He was very exposed, but then again, you have that whole platform to act as cover, and he could have ducked, but instead he chose to get really aggressive with it, try to force the peek, and Diesel just had the better aim in that situation. He was able to secure it for SEAL Team Bravo. Now, for those of you who are new, both teams will play the same objective. One will defend, or both teams, I should say, both teams will defend the same objective. Mm-hmm. And both teams will attack the same objective as well. So now this is Dark Matter's time to show how it's done. Or SEAL Team Bravo could run away here with 2 points.
Man, that north entry could not have come at a better time. Right when things were just starting to kind of relax a little bit over here on the basement, the north came in and just started to throw things into chaos. And that's, I think, why you saw... I believe it was Zucchini cross this open gap and get picked off by Diesel. He was just worried about the potential entry onto objective. You don't have a clear sight. There's a couple little nooks and crannies you can deny vision and capture. Right, you can punch in the code right there.
Yeah, and playing against Dark Matter, they're not really a team to stay still. They like to rotate a lot. They like to change up their defense positions, mid-game. So if they do get called out, the call out basically becomes voided. And I think that's just part of their nature. And against a team like SEAL Team Bravo, which can hold a very long peek at a really nice little cheeky angle, it's not ideal.
A lot of communication out of this SEAL Team Bravo defense. Communication, a key component in Onward, and something that is completely unique to this game, in my opinion, from any other, really. You have, global comms, anybody can hear anybody, but then you also have the radio on the shoulder, and so you get moments where, like this, Hondo and Raz are communicating. Raz obviously radioing in this information to his team, his entire team able to hear his communication. And I think that's what, sets apart a really skilled team from, maybe a team that is good but just doesn't have everything firing on all cylinders. Is that communication can add so much.
And there is no third-party communication as well. So if you played like CS:GO competitive, you're always talking at the same time. Nope, not here. If you die in the game, you effectively are dead to your other players in real life. Maybe not that dramatic.
Yeah, well, close enough. You can't. I mean, unless you are downed. I mean, you can be revived. You cannot communicate with your team once you are dead, and so.
The only thing that feels worse than a cap is when you look on your tablet and you are the only dot on the tablet, whether you're defending or attacking. That is not good.
Esco trying to find his way up through here, baiting out a C4 detonation that did not find him, so what could have been a nice pickup for Sickness does not result in a down. The LMG is just going to... I don't know what the plan is here. I guess entry from up top while they distract from bottom. That's what it seems to be. That's exactly what it is, actually.
Yeah, it looks like that distraction's really good. Sickness isn't peeking. He knows that he's in a very advantageous spot, and if he just waits for the push to come out of the tunnels, he's in a better position. But I don't think that push is coming. I think you were exactly right. That is just a faux push to say. Where it's just supposed to get the enemy attention. It's supposed to provide a little bit of suppression, but allow for, Mad Outdoors and crew to enter in the south and whoever's in the north to enter in the north.
Yakwa and Matt, these two just clearing out all of these potential defensive angles. Some teams like to take up some defensive lines of sight up on this top floor, and try and contest the entry points onto the stairs. But this is actually... I don't know, it's kind of interesting, this full all 5 tucked in here in the basement. I don't think I even see this very often.
Yeah, well, it used to be back in the
back
olden
in the
days
day.
of Onward. Yeah, back in our time when we played together at the same time, NightFiree, there wasn't any of these fancy entrances. It was literally just the north and the south entrance, so you could push out pretty darn far and go ahead and camp yourself out in a nice little train track and just mow down the enemy as they made their attempt down. A lot of people were complaining about that, how it just didn't feel balanced. So our wonderful devs responded to that. It added not just 1, but 2 more entrances, or 3 more entrances, I want to say.
I think they just added, a lot more entrances to the upstairs, that whole underground compartment. But I don't know, I think it's smart, invest in the full defense downstairs. You just have to hold the 3 entry points. And if you can properly defend... That's going to be a point on the board for SEAL Team Bravo. Dark Matter just prepping, and I love seeing this. This is great. Prepped teamwork here on both sides. SEAL Team Bravo with a very nice defensive setup, the full basement press, and meanwhile Dark Matter prepping for their entry. Here come the smokes. I presume we're going to see them from high voltage on this end. It's going to be a full... I think they're going to have Esco come in from downstairs with the suppressive fire, and they're going to push these stairs at the same time.
And Esco's doing a great job. He's already got Hondo's attention. Hondo's not in the best spot to be peeking those stairs. Sickness is right there already. Ooh, the team killing... the almost team kill happened. Team shots, I want to say. Raz is able to find Dr. Octafire with the C4. Confirm comes out there. Zucchini finds Diesel... and Drug Drummer, a nice double, and they are on objective. They are capping right now. Oh no, the kill comes out, and the cap will not go through. Dark Matter will run away with only 1 point.
Todd, that was a absolutely beautiful entry by Dark Matter. Holy cow, that couldn't have been better executed. I think I got it on replay. I hope I did, because that was fantastic. Yeah, they push in from the south stairwell, and as soon as they do, it's chaos. Exactly what happened to SEAL Team Bravo. They have trouble pushing in from this side, and they try and cross the gap, and there's still 1 alive. I think it was Mad Outdoors, who sat here, picked up 2 as they tried to cross the defense, and just like that, they cut down all of Dark Matter. I guess that's the weakness of investing so heavily in the downstairs, is if the team coordinates like that, there's just no chance.
Yeah, it's about creating as much chaos as you can and slipping in under the chaos if you really want to go for that cap. And that capping opportunity was definitely there, but the communication wasn't there to hold off on that last kill. it's kind of one of the, I think it's actually one of the hardest things to do in Onward as a team is to just hold off on the kill whenever that other guy is literally trying to murder you. Well, we're gonna go to the polar opposite objective now. We were just in the we were in the deepest parts of the subway. Now we are in the highest parts of the subway. Both of them are probably the most interesting objectives on this map because of just how differently they are played compared to the rest of those mid-level, those middle-level objectives.
And I think the reason being here is because, again, it comes down to 3 entry points. In most cases, the other objectives, they're vulnerable to a lot of, I guess if you consider North, it's not really that vulnerable, but some of the other objectives are vulnerable to multiple lanes of approach. The downstairs, the basement objective, and this top floor one, the market objective, have 3 entry points. Granted, there's a lot of different ways that you can approach them, and if you allowed the enemy team to get to these 3 entry points, it might be too late. But I'm interested to see what Dark Matter prioritize, where they go for their defensive setup. It seems like they're going to sit pretty heavily
north. Yeah, it looks like a pretty heavy north approach with some people kind of splatter around those other entryways. Looks like one's definitely going basement, which could be a little bit of a surprise at times. Not as many teams do check the basement as much as they should, but this north approach is going to be very interesting because when you get to that north alleyway, there just isn't that much cover to hide behind, so you kind of see everyone getting locked up at that U-joint and waiting for the utility to come out to try to clear away.
See what Matt has in his hands for this situation, because if I'm a betting man, yes, he does have a C4. I'm not sure if that's on his body or if that's just he'll be ready to throw that. I think he's going to toss that. So the potential threat of a C4 being thrown at Sickness in the shield is very much here.
And he does have a clacker, so I think
I think
the throwing
it says
action will be coming in. He is just waiting for Sickness to work his way on up. He is not in his favor right now to go be peeking on CLT Bravo. He knows very well that these guys are going to play it slow and, make a very slow approach, which personally, I'm not a big fan of the slow play with the shield because I feel like it just allows for the enemy to flank around you quicker. But regardless, that's how Sickness chooses to play, and we can see how that works out for him. And Sickness is a little bit of a newer shield player as well. He was on SMC Tactical before, and they were very anti-shield for a very long time. And then he left, joined Fireteam Alpha, and he got Kija on his team, so he didn't really have to worry about learning shield then. But after Kija first said he didn't want to play shield, then he started learning it. And lo and behold, we got another shield player just because of just how, utilitarian it really is.
Slowly working their way up to Matt. C4 toss, a little early.
Yeah, I think he was expecting a much more rampant approach, but ooh, this nade is perfectly placed, and it will find Matt outdoors. The counter nade tries to come out, but it will not ring true. Diesel finds Dr. Aquafighter, and Drummer will find one of his own. It's actually a trade. And then Diesel will get another one onto Matt outdoors. There's a lot going on there. That's a confirm. Another nade goes out, hits the objective dish. Won't be able to find anybody. High Voltage finds Raz. Zucchini finds Drunk Drummer. Now we are into a 3v2, and we got half a round left.
Bit of chaos unfolding there. Sickness and Diesel trying to approach up towards objective. Zucchini taking shots, trying to deny their entry, and the smoke's on one of the lanes. And so there's a bit of a concern here coming in from Zucchini and High Voltage. They can't confirm if a push is coming in from that lane for a potential cap onto objective or what. So there's a bit of chaos as Hondo's going to find a nice flank, potentially onto Zucchini. Can he get High Voltage as well? No, High Voltage swings, finds the pickup. Sickness approaching with shield here. Now it's truly a 1v3. High Voltage has to hold this north side.
Yeah, he's moving around a lot here. This is the Dark Matter I've known too well, but that peek is just not going to do him that well. Steel Team Bravo will take another Marsoc round. It's interesting seeing Sickness play the shield on Subway, though. He plays the shield on Subway as if he was playing on Downfall, meaning he's not really getting too aggressive with it. He's not trying to go for the kills. He's literally just going for callouts.
I blame my fingers on that one. I did not switch to the gameplay scene for that round, so I do apologize to the folks at home. I pressed it, but it didn't happen. But it's really
Always
my
blame
fault.
the software.
Yeah, right.
Blame the software. It's never human error.
Of course not.
Well, now this is going to be Dark Matter's turn to try to make the approach. I don't know if they really have any dedicated shield players. I know that a bunch of the players have messed around with, the shield, but a lot of people who just mess around with the shield will tell you that they just don't understand it because it's a completely different style of play.
Yeah, and it has its own little quirks that you have to be aware of, how you rotate it, how you turn, how far you're crouched. There's a lot of nuance that it does take some practice to get the hang of. Other people are just crazy fast with it. Like you said, they choose to sprint into the open with their shields. And ooh, this could be a potentially quick push out of Dark Matter. This north spawn is interesting. It allows them to charge straight up the stairs and be a threat very early to some very early defensive angles that some teams would take. I'm willing to guess SEAL Team Bravo is going to challenge Esco and Volsage if they push too hard.
Yeah, if they can get some, but if Dark Matter can get plenty of smoke out on the objective while trying to make a quick push, they might be able to slip a cap in and get the lead here. It doesn't look like they're going to get too aggressive, though. They are taking their time. They're waiting for everyone to get in position. They got two people going on the very bottom level through those catacombs.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a patient play coming in from these guys. They're going to allow the basement to slowly creep their way up here. They're going to have to get up to these stairs, go up about 3 or 4 flights, then make their entry into this one of 3 lanes to objective. They'll most likely meet up with Esco and High Voltage. I think Esco and High Voltage are going to opt into this lane as well. And we could see a 4-man press out of a single lane that I don't think very many teams tend to apply that much pressure through.
Yeah, it's also interesting to see Zucchini being placed... Yeah, it is Zucchini. Being placed as literally security for the entire operation. He is just hanging out in the tunnel, taking a very Volk-friendly spot, a spot that we see very often on North Objective on Volk, but he's using it on Marsoc to make sure that no one flanks around from the north because he knows that that is probably the weakest side for the Dark Matter offense.
I love this. This is a very interesting play. Yeah, coming in from Dark Matter. This has been a great match. This is exactly what I wanted to see out of both of these teams. Very coordinated, very synced up on what they want to do. They all have a strategy in mind, and as I say that, I mean, this is really good timing out of Dark Matter, and they have expressed very good timing on the offense. High Voltage, Esco, Matt, and Aqua are going to sync up here perfectly in this lane and challenge a single Volk defender. Drunk Drummer's going to have to defend this lane against 4 by himself. That spot is tough to attack, though. I mean, what's the solution there? A nade?
Ooh, I think there's a lot of solutions that involve nades on this map. Matter of fact, it's almost required with some of these spots that the enemy could just peek out from. There's a lot of approaches on this map that are really hard with the shield just because you're staring down a really long alleyway. You're with the shield. Ooh, High Voltage peeks out. He might be able to find Drunk Drummer. I think he identifies it. Drunk Drummer peeks out a little too far. He's able to get that first pick. That's a Dark Matter need to ride off. He does a quick reload because he probably used an entire mag just getting that one. Esco finds Hondo as well. Now, SEAL Team Bravo are only 3. Dark Matter are 5. We're at the halfway mark of the round. I think the setup is paying off.
Yeah, this is nice. I like this. You're going to see the North coming in here now from Zucchini, so he'll be challenging Diesel shortly. There's the trade.
That'll be a trade, but they're both down, so they're both radioing out where each other are. The question is, will SEAL Team Bravo sacrifice the man to go for that res and confirm Zucchini, or Will Dark Matter do the same as well? SEAL Team Bravo are now only one person. That's Sickness. He could go for the res or he could defend the objective, but High Voltage is pressing the attack now. The answer has been answered for him. High Voltage knows he's right there. He goes for the kill and he's able to tie it up. He's not able to cap. He knows that the option was not there. A very smart decision on his part.
I mean, these guys, their offensive rounds on both sides are looking so good. The synced up coordination on these pushes is phenomenal from both of them, and it's better than what I was expecting. Honestly, these guys have clearly been putting in the work, at least in the first few weeks of this season, to get coordinated and get their communication and game plans on point. Now we go to the North objective. This is one of the few I mean, geez, Todd, our objectives today, huh?
Man, we're having all the amazing ones, the amazingly aggressive ones, and if you're playing, they are simply nightmares.
The North objective, again, unique in that it has only 2 entry points. Albeit one of them is essentially most of the map. It's a pretty big one. I've never seen a team stack 5 on objective before. So what teams often do is opt to defend from entry points. They take up defensive angles that they can hold that will they'll be able to catch people out on rotation. That's the idea. And so we'll see if Dark Matter set up their defense appropriately. If they invest enough utility into defending the North, you often get a very volatile, quick bit of action in this North lane here, because most times the teams just come charging in. We'll see if SEAL Team Bravo do that as we hop into round 5 of map number 1.
And I'm going to comment on SEAL Team Bravo for a second here, specifically Sickness with the shield. I know a lot of people like to rush the shield north side on this objective because it's so easy to do so, but there are so many defensive, strategies specifically for shield teams set up, meant to counter shields. It might almost be better for Sickness to go catwalks instead. We'll see what he does here. No, he's going to go north side. That is a huge risk.
And you can hear his team calling out to stop moving forward. This is why. Nades, utility, C4, lots of stuff gets chucked down this lane.
And what I was saying before is there's so much defense on this north side, but there is almost no defense from catwalks aside from one member of Dark Matter, who I do believe is Mad Outdoors. I want to say, oh no, it's not.
That's a good nade.
Let's go. Voltage with the nade finds Sickness. He'll get able to clean that kill up and skirt away before he gets shot himself.
Followed it up with a flash and then confirmed the kill, so no resurrection available there. They can go back, pick up the shield, but this is a net win for Dark Matter. They can kind of back off, playing it aggressive here if they so choose. They've gotten their pick, and they can now kind of sit and defend. The nade almost up and over, almost catching out High Voltage, and High Voltage is still going to challenge the corner.
Dark Matter are just so great at these quick peeks. They're just able to go in and out and just be able to find picks with their just sheer reaction time. It is pretty amazing to get shot by them. I will say that. Diesel picks up the shield, but he is not equipped to properly fight with it. He doesn't have a laser gun or a gun with a laser sight or the night vision, so he's going to be kind of using the shield just as cover. But what he doesn't know is that he's not behind the shield. He thought he was, but there's a glitch where if the shield is balancing on your body, it doesn't render. So that gives High Voltage another 2 kills. He has mowed down SEAL Team Bravo, and now he gets a shield as a prize.
This is going to be tough for SEAL Team Bravo into a 2v5. I think we're going to see our first. It's the first Volk defensive win, I believe. I think we've had all Marsoc wins so far.
Yes, the Marsoc heavy has been, or the Marsoc bias has been very evident, but this objective, I think, is, a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this. I want to say it's actually one of the more balanced ones. It's really about how you strategically play it. You know, you can opt to rotate around like SEAL Team Bravo is only doing now with only 2 members up. which they probably should have done in the first place against a team like Dark Matter, who are just really great at those quick peeks and great at countering shields. Ooh, this has been quite a watch.
A really fun back and forth so far. Drunk Drummer is going to challenge the one defender in the main subway opening. Doesn't find the angle on the Zucchini gang. Zhang, excuse me. Zhang not able to find that shot either. So Drunks does live to another day. He's going to smoke that out, drop back off the angle, push down the other stairs with Hondo.
Yeah, I think their best option might be to try to come out from the downstairs stairs, but they've only got 3 minutes left to really hash out a strategy. They've got to commit to something here and execute it, otherwise they're just going to run the timer. Looks like Hondo will go downstairs, but Drunk Drummer is going to opt to kind of hang in a dead-end corridor, which is not good, because if he does get called out, he is just trapped. There's nothing that he can do. There's no cover for him to escape unless he's got some utility, but I have a feeling that Silty Bravo have used up a lot of utility so far. They might not have that available to them.
Hondo completing his rotation underground, now going to look for the angle onto Zucchini, turning his gun sideways to clear the barrel up over the edge and minimize his exposure. Doesn't find the shots he's looking for. Zucchini also puts some rounds downrange, and honestly, if he just keeps doing this, it'll eventually work. Drunk Drummer has rotated out, but there's a second defender over there. Esco on the backside finds the kill.
Yeah, it's such a powerful spot on this objective. It basically covers that other entry point that you were talking about. You know, you were saying it takes an entire map. Well, there's a spot that covers an entire map. Hondo has to rotate back. This is... CLT Bravo haven't even touched Dark Matter on this one. I'm going to say this, and Hondo's feeling that pressure from Dark Matter. He's being forced away from the objective that he has to attack, and he's only got 1 minute and 15 seconds left. This is a tall order for him. Zucchini pops out, is able to find Hondo, and the first Volk round will go to Zucchini Zhang as he celebrates a little bit.
Dark Matter are getting very hyped about their wins, and I like to see it. You know, these guys very excited to be able to come out with these rounds against SEAL Team Bravo. They know their competition. They know that they're up against a skilled opponent, and they definitely are very pleased with their performance. And honestly, I mean, they've been doing great. They have been challenging SEAL Team Bravo, and it's been just a great back and forth.
Yeah, now Dark Matter have that little advantage. Is it a Vulcan? No, it's not. It's a Marsoc. So let's see. If things are going the way they are, Marsoc win. No, but Dark Matter have it anyways, because they just had that extra point that they just earned from getting, you know, an opposite round. They go against the curve and they get rewarded gratefully.
I think we are. We at one point got hosted by Echo Arena, so welcome those folks that have come in, probably late on that call out, but we do appreciate you guys dropping by.
We are a 6 minute delay.
Correct.
I don't think
correct.
Echo is, but we are. So, hey guys, from 6 minutes ago, how you doing? Glad you are all stopping by.
Oh, I don't know how Dark Matter is going to attack this one. It'll be. I'm interested to see if they invest in that opposite end approach, right? If they try and come in from the south, they try and use this wide open space, try and push in like SEAL Team Bravo did at the end of that round, but with a more coordinated effort from the north as well. You know, while you're causing that chaos up there, it also is beneficial to be causing chaos downstairs. That really throws the communication of the enemy team quite awry.
A lot of people like to talk about how, you know, like the methodical play is good, but I feel like that's what really threw off SEAL Team Bravo there, is the fact that they were moving too slowly. They were allowed to be kind of just cornered, and they just didn't want to rotate away because they wanted to hold good angles, and that's ultimately where Voltage is just really excels at. He's able to find those angles, peek them really quick, and just shoot at them, and he just gets those kills that way, and it works extremely well.
Raz setting up for a C4 placement. He's going to opt to place it on the stairs. We'll go back to that in a minute because the action is unfolding in front of us on this lane, although it's not, because Dark Matter, wow, they're doing exactly what you're suggesting, Todd. They're opting for a south push, And really, Zucchini is just going to be the one preventing the flank.
The north push is dead. All hail the south push. The new meta. I think the reason why we don't like the north, I personally don't like the north push is because everyone practices for it. They always practice for it because everyone rushes it. Whereas if you throw them a south push, they're like, oh crap, we didn't plan for this.
At the same time,
what do we do?
At the same time, you can identify a north push a lot faster than a south. So they should be aware nothing's coming. And they could have, I heard Sickness communicating to his team, so his squad is aware that most likely the threat's south, right? You can kind of make these assumptions, unless that they're playing a very slow north. Then it is information that the other team can utilize. So interested to see if SEAL Team Bravo can defend that. They do have the two here holding those crossing points, those exposed angles.
Yeah, that's just, I think it's kind of become like mandatory spots in Onward just because of how powerful those are. People have to cross there if they want to get to that objective from the south side. It's very hard to peek two angles at the same time, and I think that concept just works really well for this objective.
Just a waiting game for this defense. Dark Matter clearing their angles slowly and surely. Esco trying to identify any defenders on the backside before peeking up and exposing himself too much. And it's interesting, you know, Drunk maybe would be exposed a little bit more if he were to cover this angle a little more and invest, but he knows that it's dangerous to do that. He's tucked himself into that corner, and he's just going to wait until he hears something or his teammates communicate to him that the cross is happening.
Yeah, his job, or SEAL Team Bravo's job at this point, they've got some great defensive setup. Their job is just not to peek. Just wait for the enemy to come to them. They have to. They have to get to the objective. Volt don't have to be anywhere. They just stay right where they're at and wait for that timer to run down, and they get a point. So they can rest with that slight advantage in their hands.
Matt and Aqua taking up positions there as High Voltage and Zucchini work their way forward. Probably coming in around a 2.5 to 2 minute push on the clock, but it's going to take everybody a little time to get set up.
One thing I just want to mention really quick. Sickness DB is the one who created the Dark Matter team back when they were Fire Team Alpha, so maybe there's a bit of knowledge about that as well residing in him. Ooh, the nade finds Zucchini. It's only a down, so the res and the info can come out, but Drunk Drummer is going to be able to find High Voltage. Esco peeks on out, is able to find that kill. Sickness was not able to peek, so now Esco he's beginning to camp his way on in on these tracks and allow for the rest of his team to cross if he's able to find Hondo, I should say. I'm sorry, it's not Sickness, Hondo.
Yeah, I was wondering what you Hondo is there.
That wrong.
Yeah, and there's res is available, so they could essentially deny Hondo all of these kills. Hondo does hear Zucchini.
Hondo's getting surrounded. I think that's what's really going on right here. He's too focused on the person who just ran right by him. Zucchini saying is able to get that res on. Matt Outdoors is about to peek this doorway here. Hondo does find Esco, but the refrag will come out from Voltage. Now there is a free and open doorway for Dark Matter to work their way on into this north objective. Aquafighter leading the charge. Bit of utility getting prepped. I think it's a nade.
Whoa. Crazy cross from Raz there. Not sure that was necessary. Minute 18 left. Sickness and Diesel concerned about the potential cap here, and they're investing a lot of aggression to make sure it doesn't happen. Dark Matter find the kills.
Nice.
And get up 4-2 on map 1. SEAL Team Bravo's map pick. Really nice south push that ends in a map victory for him.
Yeah, I do believe Subway is one of Dark Matter's better maps, but still, going against or winning against another team's map pick is still an accomplishment nonetheless. So huge props to Dark Matter for being able to pull that off of what was looking like it was going to go to a 3-3.
Map 2 going to be Suburbia. Again, if you are just joining us, a standard series is a best of 3. The map choice now in the hands of Dark Matter. So winning SEAL Team Bravo's map pick, then being able to go into your own map choice to potentially secure the series, it is a very good place to be if you're Dark Matter right now, and their confidence has to be high going into this next map. I'm wondering if SEAL Team Bravo are going to be able to bounce back, because that was a tough loss. They did so well for a little, and they even in their defense they did well that they lost there. It was just not quite enough, and again, those 3-4 losses are tough, but that was a pretty long back and forth to lose and then have to bounce back from.
Yeah, it was definitely looking like it was going to be a Marsoc round throughout the entirety of that map, but just once Dark Matter really got the ball rolling in their end, it was just unstoppable for SEAL Team Bravo, and you can kind of see the defense just crumbled the moment that really strong south side on that north objective was just obliterated. This could be a chance for SEAL Team Bravo to really just collect themselves, though.
Right.
It's a very similar map, and I've played SEAL Team Bravo on this map before, and they are very strong on Suburbia, so I don't think it's all over for them just yet. This is a great opportunity for them to stay in this game, to force a map 3, and to ultimately, I'm hoping it goes to a 3-3 decider on map 3. That would be perfect for this game. The first objective we're going to start off with here is the tank objective. A little bit more of an exposed one. Plenty of spaces to defend from, especially in the 2 accessible houses, the spawn house and the middle house, which, for those of you who are new to the game, you will definitely see what I'm talking about because they are pretty aptly named. Now, a shield, we did see SEAL Team Bravo bring out the shield laser combo, which means for those of you who are new, once again, it's when you are bringing a shield and trying to side shoot while wearing night vision and a laser to be able to aim. But this is a day map, you can't really use the night vision as well, so what a lot of shield players use, including myself, if they use a flashlight in order to assist with the aim. It's not perfect, but it kind of gives you a general idea of where you're aiming, and you can kind of work with that. But I don't know if Sickness is very fond of that. I haven't really seen him play in person with a shield flashlight combo, and we could see if SEAL Team Bravo will still opt to try to use that as an effective strategy against Dark Matter.
Yeah, the pistol laser combination really more viable on the night vision maps when you can utilize night vision. Just really clearly see that laser. Obviously, anybody else using night vision can see that as well, so it's kind of a catch-22, but you have a shield. That's kind of the point, right? You're supposed to be...
Yeah, you have that advantage, so it's okay to give up a little bit of like where you're aiming, and it can kind of instill a little bit of fear to your enemies when they see, a giant green line pointed directly at their face.
It's just like in the movies.
I know, right? Just... You got the hero, he's going ham, he's got a pistol, and, all the enemies have got AKs, and nothing can seem to stop him.
What some shield players certainly play like, that level of confidence, and they do quite well, but see if that's the case here on Suburbia. It's certainly going to warrant a shield. It's a very close quarters map, and so you expect to see it on both sides, honestly. We saw it there on Subway come into great use. But man, how's that? Who knows how that's going to change? I'm looking forward to 1.8 because who knows how everything is going to change. I think the shield's going to be potentially. Who knows? Is the shield going to be breakable? When's that going to get implemented? That's been a discussion for a while.
I'm going to put this way. I am a proud shield user. I call myself a shield player more so than, a normal player, but I am practicing other loadouts. That's how I feel about 1.8. I am practicing sniping. I am practicing anything but the shield whenever I'm in other lobbies, just trying to make sure that I could you know, be of a kind of a specialty asset to my team.
I think it'll still be viable, just in a different capacity than it is today.
Yeah.
But
And we see the meta change for the shield all the time. Like, we see shields being used on downfall as a way of intelligence rather than as pure form aggression or even as bait.
what are we waiting for?
What are we waiting for? That is a great question. Everyone is
I've
in
just
the
been
lobby.
rambling on for 10 minutes with both of these teams sitting here.
I mean, it is what we love to do. Well, I think they're rambling on as well, but just over the actual strategies that they will use on this one. Speaking of
you only
strategy,
get, like,
let's kind of go
2
over
minutes.
some of the kind of key talking points of this objective really quick. I want to point out this
Okay, go ahead. Dive into it.
really quick. The middle house is so important on this objective that you have to take it if you want to be able to try to get anywhere near the objective. We see so many teams, they try to ignore the middle house and it just shuts them down. So I'm pretty sure most of the strategizing will be the same as a middle house objective.
Finally.
I know, right?
That was a little beyond regulation time, if I had to say so myself, but we're
not league mod.
We are finally into the series. I can complain about people taking too long, though. That's for dang sure.
Casters have lives as well.
I mean, everybody does. Nobody wants to sit in a lobby for 5 minutes waiting to play. We want to see the action. We're finally getting into it now as SEAL Team Bravo defends and the pre-fire comes out.
Yeah, pre-fire is just so crucial. It, you know, mitigates the extent to which an enemy can rotate out and potentially try to flank. So Dark Matter know that they got a little bit more time to work with that lane 4 approach before they really do encounter an enemy. But it looks like SEAL Team Bravo at the same time have opted just to hunker down. They're not going to try to send a flanker out. They're just going to try to hold good positions and let Dark Matter come to them.
You seem very like textbook Onward. This is really kind of the standard way you play these objectives. You have your full team set up in defensive angles and hold. You don't really invest in a wild push or a overzealous flash, you know, cross around an angle. It's defend, wait for the enemy to get close to objective, wait for the enemy to coordinate their push, and then see if you can prevent it from being effective. And Dark Matter, I mean, I don't know if that really works as well against a team like Dark Matter. They seem to be really good once they do set up their push of coordinating it and coming in at the same time.
Yeah, they definitely have practiced their time management. And they do bring all that intensity, like you said, to the objective at the exact same time. And High Voltage finds Diesel. That weakens up that lane 4 side of the approach just a little bit for the Dark Matter squad to try to work their way on further in. But a lot of the objective defense set up right now is actually behind it. And that's probably some of the harder places to identify and take out, because that spawn house is just such a fortified building. And there's so many different places that the enemy can hide on. I'm pretty sure I've even seen whole defenses just inside that house.
That pick was so huge because it's kind of thrown this whole defense into a bit of a... I mean, it's so much weaker to lose that defender up there. And now the playground's open to entry for Dark Matter. They can easily push in here. Esco can peek and clear angles from the slide, and then they can get their way up here and deploy some smokes into some favorable positions. It's a lot easier to underhand smokes, lightly toss them, and to have to throw them from range, so they can get halfway there before they have to throw them out and start their push.
Zucchini's working his way onto that middle house. It's such a crucial point on this objective, and he's already gone upstairs, so that means he has a pretty good view of this enemy layout.
He did get identified. Raz called him out to his team, but here's the push. The smokes, nades coming in onto objective. Drunk Drummer's going to try and redirect that smoke, I believe. No, he can't find its origin and doesn't think he needs to. High Voltage finds Raz up in the 2-story. Zucchini clearing out Sickness. Drunk Drummer is going to be applying pressure forward here as he does try to hold off the playground push, but Dark Matter picking apart the SEAL Team Bravo defense right now, and it's going to come down to the 2 pushed up. Hondo and Drunk Drummer applying the pressure out. Voltage goes down. A little bit of a trade. Esco finds him on the backside. Hondo able to pick up Zucchini Gang, and Matt Outdoors here going to be Hondo's next target as Hondo charges around the corner, finds Matt in the back. Dr. Aqua picks some shots into the carport. The challenge from Hondo here doesn't find Aqua, and what was a nice attempted comeback results in Dark Matter continuing to pile on with the momentum, securing a Marsoc round and going up 1-0.
Yeah, just being able to hold that middle house allows for great control over the battlefield, allows you to call out where these enemy positions are. And I think that was the main thing that really let SEAL Team Bravo fall apart, is that they didn't have both sides of the objective inside very fortified buildings covered.
Whew. Still, though, a great series to be watching today. Just, I mean, if you wanted to learn the basics of Onward, this is a great set to watch because these guys have been playing so textbook. Very easy to sort of see their play style. I mean, I think it's easy to see because they're so coordinated, right? They're all, you can see all the whole line moving together on the mini map. You can see everybody throwing smokes and pushing at the same time. These teams are both very much in sync with each other.
A lot of these top teams, you'd think that being stealthy and minimal communication is really key in this game. The truth is, it's not. You play with GlobalCam, they're just chatting. They'll talk about anything as long as they know they're talking to each other. Right. Then they are communicating. They're exchanging information, bits here and there. That's just enough for them to operate. But they also, even if they're just talking normally, they know they're still alive and that they can pull off stuff. So I think the Dark Matter approach is to just kind of go at it casually. You still talk like you're just playing the game, but just make sure that you are communicating what you're doing and how you're doing it, and overrun the enemy that way, as long as you are still in sync as a team.
Hopping into round number 2 of map 2, Dark Matter on the rise. They've secured themselves the subway map of SEAL Team Bravo's choosing. Now they lead map number 2, their choice on Suburbia. Things are looking up for them right now.
Yeah, definitely rolling off of that previous round win. Dark Matter have found themselves 3 wins in a row. That's gonna play to the minds of SEAL Team Bravo here. They're gonna be wondering what's going on, what's going wrong, what do we need to change, and that's when the mistakes start coming in, is when they begin to doubt themselves.
Yeah, I think SEAL Team Bravo need to do now is the opposite of that, right? They need to stick to their guns. They need to do what they've been doing that's been getting them success, which is staying coordinated, staying patient, working together as a squad. They've been doing a great job of that. Drunk Drummer may be running into High Voltage pretty soon here in center building.
Yeah, this is such an interesting spot. There's so many places where that Volk can just hide, either behind the couch, behind the window, but no, High Voltage is behind that cabinet instead, and Drunk Drummer's not even looking. This is an execution. It's the knife! The knife came out! He couldn't help it. It's a silent kill nonetheless, and now SEAL Team Bravo don't even know that they've lost a member.
They don't know there's a defender on the bottom floor. They have no idea how that death occurred. It could have been silence shots from spawn building. Could have been a variety of things as far as SEAL Team Bravo are concerned, so they're going to work with no information there. Really nice, clean pick. Raz Sickness working up the west side, excuse me, while Diesel and Hondo make the east approach. Dark Matter's defense, though, I mean, it's interesting because I feel like the appropriate attack here is some sort of smoke sneak, right? Maybe Raz Sickness draw enough attention, find the kill there on Aqua, but draw enough attention from the enemy to allow for smokes to come in, to allow for the push from the east to come through.
Looks like Raz's position has been identified when he shot Aquafire. That's going to force a rotation out of him. That might throw off this approach from SEAL Team Bravo, because they're slowly working their way up, and it's very methodical and time coordinated. But if someone has to rotate around, their rotations are so slow that it's gonna take forever for everyone to get into position.
High voltage is the main threat. Zucchini Zong finds the sickness there. That's a nice pickup. Raz looking for that refrag through the window. He's trying to find the angle through the shrubs and can't quite get it. High voltage starting to contest the playground with some utility, some nades coming in, but here are the smokes, and we'll see if Hondo and Diesel can sneak through.
Yeah, it's only one smoke though, and that is not nearly enough to cover that objective, and Matt Outdoors will prove that right. A couple smokes there to try to facilitate the res, but High Voltage is going to come in and be able to find Hondo. Now we're down to the last member of SEAL Team Bravo, who is Raz. He's still in that same lane where he was before, and he will get identified by Matt Outdoors. A second point on this map for Dark Matter. 4 points in a row, including the previous map. They are just on fire right now.
Kind of running away with the series. SEAL Team Bravo got to be on high alert right now. If they do not start to put some points on the board, this is going to be series Dark Matter, and that's the last thing you want when you're home, because they still have options. If they can get this map, they can still bounce back with momentum. They get map choice for map 3. So I don't know, certainly.
Yeah, giving up that home advantage on the first map is catastrophic. Because the last thing you want is to not know if your next map pick is going to really influence if you're going to win or not. You want to be choosing the map that you're going to want to try to seal the deal on. And letting that go to Dark Matter, that's not going to be good. I mean, that's not going to be good for SEAL Team Bravo. Right. I'm not trying to be anti-Dark Matter here.
I agree. Dark Matter are looking very strong right now. And you can tell the confidence is really starting to carry them through some of these rounds. They are very confident in their pushes. They're confident in their teamwork. The communication's still on point. They haven't really let that flounder. And we're going to shift things up. We're going to have a north objective. We've had the objective in the south. I feel like the south objectives are honestly a little bit easier to attack versus these north ones, where that, in my opinion, require just a bit more of that coordination that Dark Matter have been showing. So they may actually have some success here on this north red car.
Yeah, the math is pretty simple. On the south side, there's only really 4 houses you can defend from. One of them doesn't even have any defensive features at all, whereas on this side you have all 6 houses you can kind of hide behind or around to your disposal. Plenty of places for Volk to just kind of hang out, wait for the enemy to come to them, and then just punish when they get into that kill box.
Pre-fire getting dumped out there. Sickness gonna be making a bit of a risky move to get up against one of these wood walls. Throw some nades. I don't know if anybody can hear me. High voltage somehow finds Diesel. Diesel was way out in the open. What was that move there from Diesel? Getting a little overzealous with no cover. Gets picked up.
I think he felt like that he could try to rotate to that front porch of the opposite side, but obviously Voltage just shut that down.
And we're seeing a little bit of a differing play style in defense than we did on Dark Matter. Sickness able to C4 High Voltage, and a little bit more aggression out of SEAL Team Bravo on defense is paying off here. Aqua Fighter has to find Hondo to really allow these reses to come off, although I guess Zucchini should be able to get the res here.
Yeah, Zucchini's in a pretty good spot, at least from my view. Sometimes the bodies are in a bit of a different position than when the casters see it, but he is able to get that res very cleanly, very safely. That's another Dark Matter member. Say that 5 times really quick.
I think Aqua finally on the rotation. The bad timing!
The nade confirms the person that Aqua was trying to go for and kills the doctor.
No, it got a third, Todd, on the backside of the Humvee. That was a triple kill from that frag.
I'm surprised Aqua's still alive. Just the rate, if you think about it, where it landed.
Yeah.
That is an incredible nade.
Yeah, Zucchini.
I have a lot of questions, but it's still an incredible one.
That's why it was an insta on the Humvee, because that was the one that Zucchini had res. So not a res not available there. Aqua is going to be able to scoop this up. I wonder if Sickness hears these footsteps here. I don't think he has any more utility to throw at him.
A bit of coordination required from Matt to get the Matt outdoors the res, because sometimes when you hear a voice and you see two bodies and only one of them is talking, it's a little confusing at times.
Kind of a bad smoke getting tossed there.
Yeah, that's actually a really good one because it blocks, I want to say, half of the defensive positions that are available. Hondo was able to find 2 with that rotation down a little bit further south. He doesn't have to move far, but now it's up to Zucchini to try to salvage something. This was going so good for Dark Matter at first, but now Zucchini almost gets caught out, but he's able to get Hondo last second before Hondo could truly get the sights lined up on that. But he was able to get the call out, I believe. So Zucchini does have to rotate around and make a far rotation. Now he's not attacking the objective as directly. It is 1v3. It's just stacked against Zucchini right now. I would not want to be in his position.
I like this approach, though. I think the rotation to the opposite side is the right call. He was given away. He doesn't have any smoke, so it's certainly a risk he's taking to make this cross. He's going to have to challenge so many potential angles if he does choose to do it. But I don't know if anybody's really covering this street. I don't see any lasers over here. There's some shots over onto him. And now Raz might be able to get a little bit in on the action as he does involve himself in a trade.
Yeah, he does basically just confirm his position when he tries to fire back. I think his best option would have been to just try to sneak across, maybe try to get behind enemy lines. If not, it's going to be, it's 1v3. The chances are you're going to lose the round. You might as well try something a little crazy, something a little, avant-garde, and maybe try to salvage, the game, or the round, I should say there. But regardless, that was a really good defense from SEAL Team Bravo. They just held their lines and they punished right when they needed to. That nade timing. You said it was horrible timing. I say it was perfect timing.
Oh, it was horrible timing for Dark Matter, or for Dark Matter. It was a great nade.
It's really a sense of perspective in that case, but that rotation from Hondo is able to find that. I want to say it was a double, right? Yeah. And that just really sealed the deal for Dark Matter there. They weren't able to really recover from that, especially after that nade just took out such a core section of the team that there was no momentum left to really push for the objective.
Yeah, they were just rebounding off of some earlier aggression, and I mean, I think that's what SEAL Team Bravo need to do more of against Dark Matter, and I think it's what they're good at. I think SEAL Team Bravo is good at fast pushes. They're good at the quick plays. Sickness definitely carries that motto around any team he plays with. And so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they try and apply a little more aggression here throughout the rest of the series. It would, in my opinion, be the cure to the Dark Matter winning their rounds. Granted, their defensive rounds have been looking good, but again, I just think the aggression is going to throw Dark Matter off their game.
Yeah, I think actually Hondo plays best when he's aggressive. I've seen him around in pub, in like comps and pubs, and he is a force to be reckoned with when he's aggressive. SEAL Team Bravo are very famous for playing slow, and you gotta wonder if the amount of if the management is not allowing for the employee to thrive properly.
Yeah, look at this. Matt getting up into a pretty forward position. I'm surprised I don't see more nades. As I say, that one gets tossed. That's exactly what I was expecting, or wanted to see more of. Hondo IDing Matt there. Zucchini here challenging Raz on the corner. Raz not winning that trade. Zucchini coming out on top, able to back off in time before Hondo sprays him down through the bushes. Esco not able to pick up that refrag. Actually does, find Hondo on the back end, and in a crazy bit of trading, it is a 3v3.
Yeah, that blind fire was able to get that quick frag, that split-second headshot. Esco is able to find Diesel, and he will be able to get a res. That is such a game changer. Just now, Dark Matter are going to go up to 4 players strong, and SEAL Team Bravo are left with the remaining 2.
A lot of options.
And Dark Matter are also positioned for a great flank if they utilize that.
They really are, and honestly, SEAL Team Bravo are walking more and more into that vulnerable position here. Matt he wanted to, could swing here onto Sickness. Sickness does seem to be ready and waiting for it.
Yeah, that smoke is kind of a diversionary thing. I think he's just trying to see if anyone fires at it so he can get a mental picture of where to expect the positioning to be. But Dark Matter having none of it. They know they have the advantage. Dr. Lockefighter knows she has the advantage. She's able to find Drunk Drummer. Now we're into a 1v4. If their kill counts are correct, Dark Matter just have to sit back and relax and just wait for Sickness to make his move. He hasn't even checked his tablet yet, I'm pretty sure.
What was looking like a really great start gets absolutely shut down by that far west defense. The aggression on both accounts from Matt and I can't remember who it was over on the west side. Whoever's dead. Zucchini up there to apply that pressure. Completely threw off the SEAL Team Bravo offense, and Sickness is now stuck in a very, very tough situation. Matt Outdoors is going to probably be his first bit of dark matter he's going to have to go up against.
Yeah, he can just try to go for a bum rush to the objective, but right now there is a pretty solid kill box that is set up. It's more like a kill triangle, but regardless of geometry, there's a solid kill box on objective, and it is not going to be easy for Sickness to just run up there and try to go for the objective without a shield. Even with the shield, it'd be incredibly challenging. I think his best option is to try to take out Matt Outdoors, hope that Esco doesn't rotate for the refrag, and try to go for the same approach that we saw Zucchini do in the last round.
Totally agree, but I just don't know if it's in the cards here for the Sickness. I think Sickness, more akin to his style, is going to go prone and potentially try and sneak up here to objective.
Sickness has been the seeder of many great teams, and one of them is one of the teams he's actually fighting right now, and he might experience the full force of that as he begins to peek out here. High Voltage is just watching this angle right here. I think he identifies it. He's tracked all that off in full view, and boom. Dark Matter have 3 points. SEAL Team Bravo only have 1. Dark Matter are on match point.
The momentum is in Dark Matter's favor. It has been a consistent commanding lead for them ever since they've taken map 1 on Subway 4-2. SEAL Team Bravo have been battling against this Dark Matter squad to get every single round, and it has been a chore for them, to say the least. Really? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm interested in seeing is like I haven't seen SEAL Team Bravo use utility that much aside from nades, but we don't see like smokes or anything that can really make someone panic like on objective and force rotations out, because what's going on is Dark Matter are just hunkering down in great spots, and if they need to rotate, they are really quick with those rotations, whereas SEAL Team Bravo, their rotations aren't exactly the quickest. They're always crouched. They're really leaving themselves vulnerable when they make these rotations, and they're not using the utility, like I said before, to really help assert themselves. So I think that the aggression is definitely on Dark Matter's side, and it is noticeable.
You know, the utility is a double-edged sword. It's, you know, we haven't talked about it for anyone that maybe is fresh to the game, but the smokes dissipate from a they go out from the smoke grenade. They do not bloom in a circle around it, and so there's a little bit of inconsistency when you throw smokes in terms of, am I going to get the coverage I would expect where that smoke landed? And sometimes you can really put yourself into a bad spot with gaps in coverage in your smokes. And so I know some teams, a lot of teams, tend to take smokes and hand to place them because they can get a consistent place there. I think the difference we see with some teams that I think do it well is that they've just figured out how to throw smokes. You know, there's a fine art to how you hold them, how you lob them, you know, and I think that ability to throw a smoke is very important for every single player on a team to have. Maybe they're just not comfortable with that, and so I don't know. It's an observation that I've kind of now thinking about too, Todd. It is odd that they haven't really been using more smokes.
When you're going up against a team like Dark Matter, they're like to peek in and out. Yeah, you got to. They're gonna always be watching the objective. They're not gonna play like SEAL Team Bravo where they just wait for the team to just pop out. They're going to always be there and it becomes a game of reaction time. You are effectively playing Onward whack-a-mole against teams like these where they're in and out, in and out, in and out, and you're just trying to time your shots so you can land on it. So why not make use of their aggression, use the smokes, and kind of lure them onto a rotation or into the smoke maybe even, and try to fish them out that way rather than try to beat them when they have set up the places for a clear reason so they can have the advantage.
It's kind of hard now. If you're SEAL Team Bravo, yeah, the counter aggression on defense has worked, but if you invest too heavily in counter, like, it can be easily shut down with this center objective. I don't know how SEAL Team Bravo are going to approach this, and I'm really interested to see what Dark Matter's attack plan is.
Yeah, we've been waiting here for a little bit, so I have to wonder if a timeout has been called for strategic reasons, because everyone's still in. We haven't seen any drops. I am getting messaged by Doctor. Oh, they are, Dark Matter are taking a 10-minute timeout. I have just gotten word.
Of course.
And they're going to start at 9, our time. Oh, actually, in casting time, it's at 10 p.m. even for us, 9:54.
Well, that's an interesting choice. I don't know if that's necessarily the right one. Dark Matter have been the ones with the momentum. If this was SEAL Team Bravo taking the timeout, I would say, wow, they're icing Dark Matter. But Dark Matter is icing themselves with the timeout. We will cut to a brief intermission and be back with map 2, the potential ending round if Dark Matter can secure it. But map 2 match point for Dark Matter coming at you in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. are back from our intermission. Thank you for hanging with us. Dark Matter on the offense. Current score 3-1 on map 2. Dark Matter did take map 1 4-2. So we are on map points as well as series points right here for SEAL Team Bravo. Or excuse me, for Dark Matter. SEAL Team Bravo on the defense have to prevent it from happening.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would like to hear that
Yeah, right.
earlier, but unfortunately that's just not how it's playing out. Dark Matter just ran away with map 1. They are running away with map 2, and they're getting aggressive on this middle house objective.
Interesting C4 tossed up there. See if that's effective later against Esco, Zucchini, Zhang, Aqua. Everyone taking it pretty slow. Dark Matter not exactly charging into the objective house.
No, they're taking their time. They're waiting for SEAL Team Bravo to try and peek, but knowing that team, they're not really a peeking team. They just like to hold really good angles, really, you know, just awkward angles for the Dark Matter in this case. Just wait for them to come to them, but I'm pretty sure Dark Matter are going to get really aggressive with this and try to find a way to deter them from those angles and work their way on into the objective as best as they can.
Hush across the battlefield. SEAL Team Bravo just waiting. Dark Matter assessing a couple of different angles, I'm sure, trying to find if anybody's up here in the 2-story, if anybody's getting aggressive on defense, if there's any sort of tomfoolery going on, but they're going to have playground. They're going to have the vast majority of the map all to themselves to push up through.
Yeah, the only they have the almost the entirety of the map because of SEAL Team Bravo's positioning here. 3 inside the house. Hondo's not that far away. He's the next door neighbor, and Diesel's just across the street. It's pretty condensed. I think Dark Matter's best option, though, if they want to try to roll away with this, is to secure Diesel where he's at. Keep him across the street and make him do a really awkward rotation if they're able to kill everyone inside that middle house.
Esco causing the detonation of C4, so one less thing that Esco has to worry about. It's very interesting how Dark Matter like to play, though. It's just something that they've kept doing. They like to go with a 4-1 split. They don't necessarily go 3-2. They seem to invest in a 4-1 pretty often, and here they are again coming in through playground as 4. They have the Esco on the opposite end as suppressive fire, as a distraction. And I think the plan is here, maybe at 2 minutes, to try and make a aggressive full squad entry up into the house. And so I wonder if SEAL Team Bravo are going to be ready, if they can defend against it, how they're going to defend against it. They're certainly not in position for a playground push.
Yeah, well, I think the push is happening now. We got all the smoking utility coming out there, plenty of sound suppression, a couple of nades coming out there. Looks like Zucchini saying is going to get really brave and work his way across there, maybe try to take out Hondo so they could have a front door entrance option if so be it, but ooh, Diesel is able to... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Zucchini was able to find Diesel there.
Yeah, that's the start.
I got tripped up because I said Hondo again instead it was Diesel. I think everyone's Hondo at this point.
This is a unique approach. They are all taking the Volk objective street under their control now. Hondo does find Esco. Zucchini on the refrag. Evens it back out into Dark Matter's favor, 4-3. Now I think they're going to try and make entry into the house, or are they going to continue to invest in attackers over at spawn building and try and find picks? I just don't know what the Dark Matter's attack plan is with 2 minutes left.
We see a lot of really good, a lot of banter happening. We see a lot of teams use that 2-minute mark as kind of the attack point, you know, just wait it out, let the teams kind of freak out and then attack. High Voltage works his way on in. Sickness. C4's High Voltage. The Aquafighter works her way on, is able to find Raz, but she can't stick out here too far. Sickness is right up there. I'm sorry, Drunk Drummer is watching that little crack there in the staircase. Zucchini's on, working his way on in. Aqua goes to the trade. That's all they needed. Dark Matter are gonna roll away with the win.
That's the full court press there, up through objective, up through the stairs, and the real detriment to that defense was the C4 catching out one of their own, and then Sickness tried to go down there and get the res, but it was just not the right time. When things were that hectic, when the push is coming in, maybe he felt comfortable that he had killed everyone trying to make entry, but he had not, and he gets picked up on the back, and then it's just downhill from there. One solo defender in a 1v3.
And you know what I realized? That C4 could not have been triggered right there. Matter of fact, someone had to have thrown a nade in order to be able to trigger the C4 while it was that close to the objective. So some pretty interesting plays coming out from SEAL Team Bravo, at least on that objective.
Are you sure? I think it was. Can it not be in the house anywhere? Because I think it was bottom floor.
I don't think it can be in. I don't think it can be in the house anywhere. The radius, the C4 disable radius, and for those of you who are new, you cannot be placing you cannot place C4 directly near the objective within a certain radius. Otherwise, that would be be pretty game breaking. B, they just don't want to be. They don't want the C4 being overpowered, basically. But that radius on this map in particular is up to that concrete barrier in front of that center house, at least for this objective. So I think the entirety of the house is covered by that radius. So that means that a nade had to be thrown in order to trigger the C4.
Map 3 headed to Bazaar. This is SEAL Team Bravo's map choice. And I'm sure they are, coming into this one, trying to at least secure one map out of this set. They have had a tough couple of rounds here, 4-2, 4-1. If they can manage to kind of creep that scoreline back a little bit, get some points on the board for map 3, they can sort of lessen the amount of damage they'll experience to their MMR, their matchmaking rating, and they will drop down in rank to a lesser extent. If they sort of let this map go unchecked, though, and Dark Matter run away with it, it is going to be just a fantastic win for Dark Matter. They're going to be boosted up in the standings, and they'll likely go up against some pretty challenging teams next week.
Yeah, the standings now are beginning to kind of sort themselves out. We've seen a lot of teams kind of out of nowhere pop up on top, but that's typically because they're the challenge happy ones, the ones that like to get their 3 matches out of the way, and so they'll be the first ones to get their official MMR properly displayed, and usually that will get you on top. I know Riot, back when I was on it, managed to do it once, then we immediately got punted off by Phoenix, and then Globochem has a nice little side there. So we got to enjoy our first for like half an hour, I want to say. So I'm pretty proud of that. But it's just the way it works.
I just thought of this now. A little fun fact: the Dark Matter have gone up against 2 of Sickness's teams. They just recently played against SMC last week and lost, and now here they are winning against SEAL Team Bravo.
And they are a team made by Sickness.
Yeah, it's really it's like a weird Sickness lineage show going on. The last
These
few
are all Sickness's children coming here for a family reunion.
Well, he's been providing us some good quality Onward, that's for sure, because both of these teams have been playing great today. The match against SMC was fun to watch. I feel like Dark Matter has improved just since that match against SMC. They just look more coordinated here today, and if they bring this kind of heat to any of the top teams, they'll be challenging them, I think, pretty well.
Being able to beat G-Man last season is no easy feat. So definitely some decent expectations coming out into the season for them. But they have definitely impressed so far.
Patiently awaiting the start of map 3. At this point, what do you got to strategize about, Todd?
You got to strategize about your MMR loss. Typically talk about that there's no way that I could have been shot there because I am elite PvP. The standard first-person shooter strategy stuff.
Yeah, suppose.
You know, a lot of times we'll see teams actually, with real talk here, try out, you know, different strategies, see what little things they could adjust to see what works, especially since you're, you know, effectively, it's becoming to kind of, you know, after you win on the second map, the third map kind of becomes a bit of a scrim in the mentality of at least to the winning team. To the losing team, it's a bit more of a pride thing, but Dark Matter have the ability now to kind of, you know, test out little things here, little tweaks here and there, try out new positions, maybe see what they can pull off against a team like this for future reference. But SEAL Team Bravo, I think they're just going to stick to their guns and try to pull off something here. They are a very, you know, one-trick pony kind of team. We don't see we don't see incredible variation coming out from them. They like to play a slower game. They like to play a very methodical game. Raz is one of the Boughton brothers, and them Boughton brothers, they really like to play that slow game. I was on a team with one of them, and I know that they really like that crouch walk. We are starting off with probably the most interesting objective, though, on this map, the Kayat objective. It's a pretty controversial one.
Well, it's because it's had some interesting plays conducted at it, but yes, it is a very tough to defend objective for a lot of teams. They do struggle holding off the Marsoc advances. It's just got so many different angles of attack, a lot of different ways you can approach it, and once you get onto it, there's so many different spots you can cap from, so it's just a tough one to hold on to, and I'm interested to see what Dark Matter's defense looks like. We have both teams ready to go. We do have a sub coming in for Dark Matter. They brought Will Cell on.
Yeah, the two former members of Water get to have some play time throughout the entirety of this. Both Will Cell, my P, and Tsukini Zane kind of came into this game pretty new, but quickly learned, you know, the league style play, and they've been playing very well.
Hopping into round one of map 3, Dark Matter on a hot streak right now. They are looking good on dubs. Phenaram, is that a sub as well? I think it is.
Yes,
right?
that is a sub. Matter of fact, I think that's the only shield player the only true shield player that Dark Matter has. Diesel finds one. That's Esco. Gonna make it a little bit easier to approach that objective. I think the hardest part of this objective is really just the approach. It's getting to there. Once you get inside that building, it becomes a maze for Invoke to navigate, and that is why it's so easy to cap, because there's just so many different places that you can cap from. It's almost impossible to check them all before that code goes in.
I think Sickness is going to try and work his way prone up to objective. I think he's going to try and sneak through this defensive setup with very little commotion. And it might work.
Certainly possible. Yeah, I agree. There are not that many eyes on the bazaar itself, the actual bazaar, the namesake of the map. Only Aqua is behind the service desk, and that doesn't offer that much visibility. You're generally hiding behind there because you're waiting for the sound of enemy to approach, and the only sound that she's probably going to hear if Sickness does find his way onto this objective is a tablet going out. Depending on how quickly he can get that out, he could probably get that coded. Plenty of shots going off on the East Market side, but no kills to report for that. Hondo is able to call out some locations, but that might give some light to Sickness as Phenoram gets distracted by Hondo. A couple of smokes going out there. That might give away the approach, though, so we might see a rotation, at least from Mad Outdoors. He is watching that angle. Ooh, the C4 finds Sickness. Very nicely thrown. I almost wish we had lines for C4.
Drunk Drummer going to be running into Matt Outdoors in quick time here. Matt has the opportunity to drop down onto Drunk if he so chooses. Field Team Bravo have been getting picked apart here, though. They are now into a 4v3.
Yeah, I think they were getting just really aggressive here. They weren't even focusing on trying to, reduce the enemy presence. And while we say that this is a very Marsoc-friendly objective, ooh, Diesel finds a nice one on the Phenom. But while, we say that Marsoc have it easy on this objective, they really don't. They have to get to the objective first, and that is the most challenging part of this objective. And Mad Outdoors is about to show Drunk Drummer exactly why you should not be so cap hungry. You should always keep your head on a swivel. And Silty Bravo just aren't doing that. They are too focused on the cap, and they are just ablating the team away. Raz with a nice little, nice little Kobe of a nade there.
A short lob.
Yeah. Diesel finds Mad Outdoors. Silty Bravo are beginning to. Wow, they actually have it. They've collected themselves just enough to be able to scrape away with the round win there, but for a while, it wasn't looking like that. They looked like they were just trying to go for the cap.
Very interesting bit of play there out of SEAL Team Bravo, but nicely done either way. Good comeback there. I think they were in a 2v4 for a little bit, but a couple of quick kills in through the center and a net positive, and finally, SEAL Team Bravo needed that one. I think this is the first time they've been in the lead in this series, and so I'm wondering if they can now maybe snag a Volk round, try and gain a little bit of momentum for this final map.
Well, they did have the lead, I think, it's Subway. I think they got the first round, but then Dark Matter just collected themselves. They got that Volk round on Subway, and then from there, the rest is history of just Dark Matter running away with an entire match. But yeah, it's good to see SEAL Team Bravo kind of be able to collect a Marsoc round there, especially on an objective like this. That's so key to have that RNG on their side, to have that first round be on this objective. But now they got to defend it and make sure that Dark Matter don't do the same to them, or worse, cap. I know a lot of us know this already, but Voltage is one of the best cappers I've seen in this league. He can pull off a code in the most ridiculous of situations, and he might just do it again. This is one of his favorite objectives. I would be scared if I was SEAL Team Bravo.
Long wait times between rounds. Looks like we have a disconnect on Dark Matter's end, so I think...
Oh, it is Voltage.
Hopefully he's back. I think he might have just came back. Yes, he did.
Oh, it's Esco. I'm sorry. They cycled out Voltage. I completely forgot that.
Yeah.
Ignore the co-caster.
Unbelievable.
Well, Aqua is able to put in a quick code too. I know that, and so is Esco. I'm not. That's a good cap as well. So really, just Dark Matter are just great cappers. But man, this objective would be so much juicier if they had Voltage in for this one. But granted, he does live in Japan, so the time zones are a little, the time zones are a little different, and he might have to, wrap it up by now.
I think the subs came in because they've secured the series. Now is a good time to get your subs work. Make sure that they're synced up with the rest of the team. In the case that you do need them in a more important situation, they're trained up and not out of shape. And so I think it's a smart choice from Dark Matter to utilize this time now to bring in their subs. And I don't know if it was even really a timing thing.
It could be, and I completely agree with you on that. It's also good to make sure that, everyone's getting their share of the experience. You don't want bench warmers on a team. That's no fun. I think Fire Team, back when they were Fire Team Alpha, they had issues with people feeling like they were bench warmers, and they lost a couple good members like Shrieking Geek because of that.
See if the subs can muster up a round win against SEAL Team Bravo on the defense here, and Kayat Hondo has gotten up into a pretty aggressive spot. He'll be watching the mini bazaar, but no one's really going there on Dark Matter's side right now.
Yeah, when Hondo's kind of given a little bit more free reign, I think he really does shine. And we're seeing this right now, he's not being kind of relegated to being on the objective. He can actually, move out, be a little bit more free, and it really does play to his advantage because he's really good at those flanks.
Trying to take a look at full approach from Dark Matter. It looks like they're setting up across the board, as they have done throughout the course of the series pretty effectively. So expect Mad Outdoors to be an effective element, at least draw some sort of distraction. He is going to have to challenge his first defender shortly if he decides to cross, and it is going to be Sickness.
Couple shots going off there, mainly pre-fire. Looks like Esco's going to try to challenge Hondo here shortly. I'm pretty sure they both are very aware of their position. But Esco's just waiting for, I think, some reinforcement to happen on that north side. He's got the manpower up there.
Matt, are you in position?
C4 gets triggered, finds nobody. Hondo finds Aqua. And that should give... That would have been an ideal time for Esco to swing around and try to find a pick. But Sickness and Raz finding picks of their own. Reduce Dark Matter to 2 operating members. Just Will Sell My P and Esco.
Ooh, a nice little flash up there does blind Raz. I don't know if it got drunked as well, but Will is able to cross. Esco able to grab Sickness on a rotation. Drunk Drummer going to react to that. Look for the frag. Esco is going to be in a tight spot here as Hondo also applies pressure.
Yeah, now Hondo basically got him boxed in. There's not much operating room for Esco to really work with in safety. Hondo pushes the attack, rounds the corner. No, he doesn't see it. Esco will pick that one up really easily. I'm surprised he didn't at least kind of figure where that shooting was coming from.
Dark Matter are coming back here. They're about to be in an advantage 3-2 right now. A 3-1 as Esco finds Drunk Drummer rotating around objective. Now he only has one more to deal with in the open courtyard, and he finds Diesel. Dark Matter answer back with a bit of a comeback of their own and tie things up 1-1.
Yeah, getting those picks on the objective was just perfect for Dark Matter. Diesel was the last one up, and he was very far off of the objective. That's not where you want to be, especially on Kayat. You want to be as on objective as you possibly can, and Diesel had the right idea in that case, which is to either rotate or objective or die. Do not allow the cap to go through. Do whatever you can to get back, and that's exactly what he did. He died, and he only allowed Dark Matter 1 points. Now we're into a tie game.
And this has basically been the series, right? It's been a good combo of both squads putting in good efforts on offense and defense, and it's been really exciting to watch. It's been a very great demonstration of high-tier Onward, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely some interesting tactics coming out, like that C4 on Suburbia, being able to utilize that. It's been thought about, but we haven't really seen it too much in practice, so it's cool to see SEAL Team Bravo kind of utilizing those intricate game mechanics to their advantage, trying to set up defense. Granted, it didn't go as well as they planned, but it's all in the name of rocket science.
Gotta have some failures before you get to those successes. And
exactly, you know, failure is always an option. Failure is always an option, and I think that's a great little motto for any, you know, newer team coming to this. Is if you learn from your losses, you will become a top tier team, just like SEAL Team Bravo did. Like they started off just last season, and look at them right now. They're playing in gold rank.
Round number 3 underway. Not really seeing any caps come in here. SEAL Team Bravo do get a quick spawn, and I wonder if we're going to see an aggressive push for them. The way they're posturing, it doesn't seem like it.
No, they're not really an aggressive team. They like to set it up. They're not even going the route. They're going their own way. Sickness is not bringing. I thought he was bringing a shield. The shadow was fooling me for a second. But yeah, they're setting up their own way. They're kind of going about their own style. Bit of free fire here and there to make sure that Dark Matter don't push out too far and maybe can protect
Vulnerable by
Drunk Drummer on his push up as he kind of goes the normal route, but it's interesting not utilizing that quick spawn to get super aggressive, even though they have super aggressive players. And I think Esco's pick there is a clear example why you should be aggressive on that objective, because now you've given Dark Matter so much reign over the Bazaar, and they are murdering anybody who goes into that Bazaar. Cygnus learning that lesson the hard way. Couple shots coming out from Diesel as he tries to salvage something, but he's not able to get those shots lined up perfectly. Just Esco is hunkered up against that wall on the balcony. Very interesting positioning, but he identifies that positioning. Aqua with the C4 finds Raz. It's only a downage though, so that confirm could have come out, but that AS Val rings true, and she's able to get that confirm on in. Hondo will get the refrag. As still Team Bravo are only 2 members strong, and Dark Matter have only lost Aqua.
Diesel hitting the deck there, dodging shots from Matt Outdoors as the nade comes up and over. It's a good toss, but goes inside the fountain. But Diesel will be safe, and I think he should be able to get the res on the Drunk Drummer here if Esco doesn't play spoiler.
Well, normally for good luck, you normally toss pennies in, but I'll take grenades for good luck anyways.
We'll see. We'll see if it's what the charm Dark Matter needed to get this defensive round. Certainly good luck for Esco.
You gotta specify that wish. Don't just say I wish to get kills, because you'll just get killed by Esco. Or maybe just don't toss nades into fountains. Maybe it's kind of like maybe it's a bad luck charm.
Well, no. It's good luck. Dark Matter threw the nade into the fountain. They got the kills.
Oh, right. You are right. That was Dark Matter throwing the nade. So, yeah, Esco got his wish.
Don't listen to the co-caster again.
All right, here we go again. I'm just spreading misinformation.
I don't know what Hondo's plan is. I don't think he knows.
I don't think he knows either. There's no sense in trying to decipher it. He's on the exact opposite side of the map from the objective. I think there still is. No, he's the last one up.
This would be a wild flank if someone did that right now.
If I was Dark Matter, that would be shameful if you did that kind of flank. You have every single advantage known to mankind on your side, and you're gonna risk it all by trying to give away your position going to the other side of the map. Just hang out on an objective and like open a beer, have a good time, have a nice little chat with the team. You got plenty of time as Hondo chooses to move away, even further away from the objective. He has half the round left, but you're that far away. You have to wonder if that's really enough time.
Might catch out Esco here if he spots him.
Well, you are correct. He does fight. Hondo being Hondo. Saying really interesting stuff. But his position is given away now as he did fire, and there is one less dot on the Dark Matter tablets. This is a very interesting flank. He doesn't get spotted out on that cross because Dark Matter wasn't watching. It looks like he's going to try to go for a north approach. Yeah. Looks like he's going to go along the street there, and it could work because it doesn't look like there's much. No one's looking along that wall or looking out, so he could freely move up to the objective complex, that whole alleyway, without even having to raise a finger.
Minute left on the clock. Hondo gonna have to do something here as he does run slowly out of time. He's definitely gonna be applying that pressure onto objective because I believe he's gonna opt to take this alleyway straight down to it. Matt does have eyes on, but he's really the only one that's briefly checking it, and this utility Nice toss. Might catch Matt out. No, not cooked enough. Matt able to duck back in time.
Ooh, and Hondo's going to choose to actually roll off the nade, try a different approach. He's running in. I'm pretty sure Matt could hear that, but now he's crouching. He might be able to find Matt. No, the pre-fire wasn't there. Matt will have a second chance, but no! Hondo will be able to find Matt. He's now within capping range. Will Sell My P is not rotating. Hondo is tablet out. Will Sell My P will rotate out. And Dark Matter will pick up another points.
I like the play to get up against the objective, try and use it as a piece of cover, but it's not quite enough cover, and a bit of negotiating near objective with bullets goes into the way of Dark Matter.
Well, the negotiations were short, and Will Sell My P made sure of that. A nice little point coming from the subs in this case. Like you're saying before, the subs have really kicked it into gear.
Esco's 8-2. That also has something to do with it.
We all know Will Sell My P's kill was the most important there. As Esco got shot in the face while he was rotating out to Ice Cream Truck, very far away from the objective. It's an interesting rotation as well from Hondo. Let's just talk about that for a second. Literally rotate around 3/4 of the map around its perimeter as well, with only 3 minutes left. A bit of spring in his step, I'd say, right?
Yeah, it's a slow play, but an interesting one that almost worked for him. Obviously, I think if you're going to go in solo, that entry point is going to be your closest kind of way to challenge it. But yeah, it was a nice rotation. It took forever, but got there just in time to apply the pressure. And now we'll see if Dark Matter can muster up a cap to secure the map, or if they'll go for kills, or if SEAL Team Bravo can keep things tied and go on the defense here for round number 4.
Yeah, SEAL Team have been they've had a very tight defense so far. They haven't given up a cap. Everything's gone down to the last minute, but Dark Matter they're gunslingers. They are really good when it comes to those, 1v1s and hand-to-hand combat, that they could get these wins in the very last minutes of the round. It looks like SEAL Team are going to kind of opt for a similar defense, very tight. Not too many people going that far out. Just wait for Dark Matter to get close by. And speaking of shots, Raz is going to identify one of the members of Dark Matter, but he's not going to be able to make that lead land. And Phenoram is bringing the shield. And I think the thing that differs Phenoram from Sickness is the fact that Pheno is not afraid to bring a shield onto a day map.
Is drawing bullets out of Raz at the very least.
Yeah, from that range, there's not really that much the shield can do aside from get call-outs to try to distract players, and he's doing that very effectively. He's just making his presence very known. Raz is very distracted. It's more data for Aqua to work with, and Matt Outdoors is going to actually operate off of that data, finding Raz. That will allow for some more freedom of rotation to the rest of Dark Matter.
Shield's coming far east onto me.
Esco is able to find Sickness. Confirmation nade comes out. Able to... Wow, that placement was great.
A little bit of action going in the center there as the push comes in from the east. I think east is going to be the more immediate threat that they do have to worry about. Phenoram with the shield here. Now going to be able to pillage a rifle and utilize that.
Couple smokes going out there into that east courtyard. This is a great opportunity for Dark Matter to seal the game away, just like you said with the cap, but they got to get onto that objective first. The coordination is there. They are all on the doorstep. They just need to work their way on in and surprise SEAL Team Bravo in a way that will be able to allow themselves to get near enough the objective without them knowing if they really do want that cap. I don't think it's going to come at this point. SEAL Team Bravo has just been really tight on it, though.
They need to invest one in that north alleyway push that we saw get utilized last round, and then have the distraction come from elsewhere, because you can get right on top of objective through there.
Aqua's able to find Diesel in that objective complex. Mad Outdoors is getting along the wall, and Flash Nade will come out. That will get Mad Outdoors as he backs off. Drunk Drummer will be able to find Dr. Aqua Fighter. That should be enough data for Phenoram to operate off of. The nade! The quick nade from Phenoram will be able to find Drunk Drummer. He is only down, so he can call out the exact location of that. But Mad Outdoors will be able to find Hondo on a refrag, and Dark Matter will get that point.
Keep piling on to their lead now as they go up 3-1 in the final map, and the trend continues for them. They are able to continue to push up to match point, and I don't know, it's just been a good quality series. These guys have been doing a great job getting back and forth at it. SEAL Team Bravo trying their darndest against this Dark Matter squad, but Dark Matter have just been a little bit more in sync today.
Yeah, I think it's the communication. I'm not really hearing SEAL Team Bravo communicate as well as Dark Matter. And just honestly, the best tip is just talk. Like I said before, just talk about anything. As long as that communication is open, it's not like you'll interrupt a conversation that could be about like the latest Netflix series to just point out that you are getting shot from a certain location, you see someone or whatnot. But just keep that communication rolling and keep it natural, and you will allow that information to flow naturally as well.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. It's vital to any team's success. And yeah, I haven't heard much out of SEAL Team Bravo's comms. To your point, it's been seemingly a little bit. I mean, in comparison to Dark Matter, I've heard much more from them. But who knows? Maybe it's an off day. You know, there's all sorts of circumstances, I suppose, that could lead to a rough series, but
I think it's a little bit more about the philosophy. So, you know, SEAL Team Bravo are a bit more crouch happy because they want to keep that stealth available to them. They don't want their positions known. Whereas if you're communicating all the time, you know, everyone can hear you. So it's a question of whether you want to give away your position for the flow of information, or if you feel confident in yourself enough to be able to handle a situation without really telling the rest of your team, or so you don't have that support. It looks like SEAL Team Bravo are going to try to get their information another way as the drone comes out from Drunk Drummer. A couple of shots already going off right off the bat as smokes rain across the entirety of the map. Sickness is going to try to make a cross there, but Mad Outdoors is going to shut that down. He was clearly not anticipating that mad push from Matt. Diesel almost got team killed there, I think, from Hondo. Oh, a nice little trade from Hondo to Esco. Diesel finds Mad Outdoors, but Phenoram is able to get that refrag. Only 2 members of SEAL Team Bravo left up. It has only been 2 minutes into the round, or actually 1 minute into the round. SEAL Team Bravo do have an advantage here that they don't know of, at least just yet. They have 1 member on each side. This is a perfect pinching opportunity for any member of Dark Matter that chooses to poke on out or maybe pressure them from different sides. And I think that's probably their best advantage that they've got at this point. They just have to coordinate. But that's been the trouble for SEAL Team Bravo. Is, we haven't seen an incredible amount of coordination, you know, on the fly. We've seen practice strategies, but we haven't seen, you know, changes in the strategies. We've only seen them try one trick, and Dark Matter just immediately found out the secret to that trick, and they've just been rolling with it ever since.
Phenoram may go across the line of sight here. The shots do connect. Raz able to find the cross. A nice bit of shooting from him, and that was their weak point, in my opinion. If VRML had stayed there any longer, these two on objective were really it, and so not sure what the plan of attack is. They do have the drone sitting there causing an audio distraction. Finally has run out of juice and is no longer going to be there when they need it most.
Yeah, now Raz is working his way across the street. He knows he has a pretty clear sight. I think their kill counts are correct, so he's getting pretty brave with it. He's still testing the waters, actually. I take that back, but he's making his cross now, and now he'll be able to access that alleyway, which is good because he has plenty of covers there. Oh, Will Sell My P is at the doorstep and waiting. Now we're into a 1v2 as Drunk Drummer is the last one left up for SEAL Team Bravo in order to be able to keep them in this round to be able to try to secure map 3, but Dark Matter has just been running away with this game.
Yeah, Will Sell almost had the angle there, didn't quite check it all the way. Drunk Drummer, I think, still in advantage here as Will does rotate over towards objective.
And it's really hard on this wall here because the Marsoc uniform blends in pretty well. It's easier when a Volk is along the wall because, well, there's a massive color difference. Looks like Drunk's going to use up the entirety of his 2.5 minutes that he has left here. He's right next to the objective, so it's plenty of time to spare, but he's got to be really smart about how he chooses to approach this. He can get one kill, but then he has to immediately be on the whereabouts for that refrag potential that's right there, especially with how these teams have been playing. You know, it's one kill and then a refrag, one kill and then a refrag. That's just how tight Dark Matter have been playing. Drunk Drummer's going to go for the direct approach. He's not going to try to go around the back. I think he heard Will before, and so he's choosing to go the path of least resistance. It's all up to the girls here to try to secure round 3. Will Sell My P and Dr. Aquafighter.
See if they can hold down objective. Drunk Drummer now has checked pad for the code, so maybe considering that as a potential option.
There are some interesting capping points on this objective that Drunk can utilize here. I feel like that Will and Aqua aren't checking as much as they probably should. Will is charging around here. She's charging into the room here. Drunk sees her, but it's not enough. They're able to run away with map 3 as the trade rings out. Dark Matter just have a very definitive win.
Very solid job out of Dark Matter today to come out on top of the series as a whole. 4-2 on Subway, 4-1 on Suburbia, 4-1 on Bazaar. A dominating performance out of the Dark Matter squad today up against STB. Fun match to watch. Todd, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, what thoughts do I have? That was just an amazing watch, let alone an amazing match to cast. Just the sheer intensity of Dark Matter just fully kicking into gear after round 3 on Subway and just being an unstoppable force ever since then. It just really threw SEAL Team Bravo a new loop. SEAL Team Bravo held a really good, textbook Onward game, but
yeah,
Dark Matter is not textbook Onward. They like to do things a little differently. They kick the intensity up a notch, and I just don't think that SEAL Team Bravo were quite prepared for that intensity. So a very good win on Dark Matter, definitely outplaying SEAL Team Bravo in that sense.
With that, we will be signing off. A quick shout out to everyone in chat: Zucchini Zang, Loyal Dogs, Barter Izzy, Control Flirt, Delete, Soja Boy, Young, Rypick, Traden. A lot of folks dropping in today. We really appreciate you guys coming by, hanging out, watching the matchups. If you don't know, we are going to be having some Echo Arena broadcasts this Sunday over on Oculus Venues. It'll be a fun way to enjoy those matches. If you want to find out when those are going to go live, stay tuned to the Echo Arena Twitter. They'll be doing that every Sunday, and eventually we'll be bringing Oculus Venues to Onward as well. So once we have that Quest support out, we'll most likely be delivering shows to venues, and it'll be a new means to watch and interact with the community. I'm really looking forward to it. I recommend looking into it if you have a Quest or a Oculus Go. It is only available for those headsets. And also, shout out to our sponsors: Rebuff Reality, Fixed Gaming, ProTube VR, VR Cover, Cyber Shoes VR, and B Haptics. We appreciate you all for supporting the league and helping us continue to grow. I cannot wait for 1.8 to drop. I cannot wait for Quest Beta, and I'm sure all you cannot wait either. It is going to be absolutely insane, and I'm looking forward to all of the new folks coming in to our beloved Onward community. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster TFH. We will see you all, I think, tomorrow for a cast, and then another one Sunday night. So make sure to follow and tune in then. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you later.